I want to hear about the couple businesses that you own and all, and kind of give us a little background about them.
Yeah, man. So the junk removal business, Sergeant Junket, I started that in 2018. We're still operating today. I'm not running that business personally anymore. We have an operations manager and a team. They kind of handle and do all of that. Um, and so about 3 years ago, because of Sergeant Junket, I unintentionally started a marketing agency. So I had hired marketing agencies for the first 3 years or so, and just never got good results. And I mean, I think that's a common theme and common story. And so I decided to figure out how to do it on my own. I had kind of a blessing in disguise. My dad was like answering the phones for the business, and we had a team in place, so they were doing the work, and so I had this kind of free time to figure out how to market for the business itself. And so through that journey, I partnered with a guy in Colorado building roofing websites and learning how to rank websites. And so as I'm learning all this stuff, I'm doing it in our own junk removal business. And we're in Louisville, Kentucky, so we're in a pretty decent sized market. I think our total population for the service area is like 1.2, 1.3 million, so pretty decent. And after about 7, 8 months of doing this, we shot up to top three, organically top three of the maps, and we grew by like 35, 40%. And this is without running ads. This is, organic online marketing. And so uh, through that, like people in the group started to, we were sharing, I was sharing this in the groups, and people started to see it and started to ask if we could do the same thing for them. And then that eventually rolled into us starting an agency. And so today, Spearcrest primarily serves junk removal and dumpster rental businesses. We're getting a lot more dumpster rental clients lately. But anyway, that's kind of like our main niche. We do serve like restoration companies and some roofing companies and stuff, but junk removal, dumpster rental, I know the industry of junk removal specifically. So, it's easier for me to kind of communicate that and understand where people are at in their business journey. But we're serving about 40 junk removal and dumpster rental clients around the country right now.
Very cool, brother. I want to say, what's up? We got Kevin Hess in the chat. What's going on, Kevin? He's gonna
Kevin,
be
what's up, man?
he's gonna be one of the speakers over at the Great Junk Expo, October 25th. I'm really looking forward to meeting him in person. So thank you for tuning in, Kevin. Appreciate that.
Yeah, go read Kevin's book.
Oh yeah, I think he just sent one out to me. It's on its way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that before the Junk Expo and kind of learning from that, and this way I
Yeah,
could pick his brain in person.
yeah.
So I want to kind of just, I know you started the junk removal business in 2018.
Mhm.
How did that all come about? Like what made you go with the junk removal biz? How'd you discover this industry?
So it's I think everybody's kind of got their own story where they saw a junk removal truck and tried to figure out what was going on with that. For me, so I have a background in the Marine Corps, and I got out and got into industrial maintenance through a series of went to trade school and hated working on cars, and I could go, and that's a very long story, but I wanted to do something on my own, but I could never figure out what that was. And so I had a cousin who was a franchisee for J Dog up in Philadelphia, and he had talked to me about junk removal before, but I never really dove into it. I thought it was kind of corny. And then one day, my mom had some crap in her backyard, and she had called 1-800 to come and pick it up. And I happened to like just swing by and was saying what's up to her at the time, and they were leaving as I was getting there. And I said, "How much did they charge you to remove that?" And they were like, she was like $295, and it was like not much. And I'm like, dude, I could go do that in my pickup truck for like half the cost. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. And so I started like really diving in. That was early on in the industry. Um, Lee Godbold had some videos out. Tim Doss, he's like one of the OG YouTube guys. He had some videos out, kind of walking through what junk removal looked like. And so I started to just dive into it. And my cousin up in Philly got mad at me because he was like, "Come on, dude, franchise." I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna, bootstrap this thing. And maybe it was a mistake, maybe not. I don't know. It was, I had to bump my head and bleed and learn a lot of lessons the hard way, doing it on my own. But it took a minute. And then after I would say about that 3 year mark, we really started to get traction. Um, but I dove into it mainly just off of understanding that there was some potential in, like, hey, man, people will pay $295 for you to remove this small pile of crap in their backyard. And at the time, all you see is that you see that number in your head. And it's not always that glamorous, but man, it's been a great industry to be in, and not just for what we do in the junk removal space, but it's opened so many doors, and connected me with so many really cool people. Some people that I really, the greatest people in my life, it's connected me to. So I'm forever grateful for junk removal just for that aspect alone.
When you first dove in, what vehicle did you start off with?
So when I first started, I had an F-150 and my buddy's 16-foot car trailer, and we did that for maybe, I don't know, 6 months or so. So I was working full time. I worked at a large. It was Granger was the name of it. You may have heard of them. They're a big safety equipment, mechanical provider. They distribute mechanical supplies. Anyway, long story short, I would work from like 8 a.m. to 4:30, get off work, go pick up the truck and trailer, sometimes drive it to work, and then go straight into jobs from like 5:30 till sometimes 10 at night, and then all day Saturdays and Sundays. So we did that for like 6 months, and I'm like, we got to get something. Like the truck and trailer thing ain't working out. And so we ended up buying box trucks. Well, a box truck. I got a $7,000 box truck. We still have it on the lot. They actually still use it sometimes. It's got like 396,000 miles on it now. But it still runs good, man. The back doors just broke on it. And we stayed with the box truck model. We still run box trucks. So it's kind of debatable. Some people don't like that. For me, junk removal is a really good cash flow business for us. And for our model, I didn't see the justifiability in going and buying like an $80,000 dump truck. I think that it really works well for some people, especially if like this is your main bread and butter. You should probably go that route. But for us, we've got a building, we've got a warehouse, so box trucks are nice. That they keep, if we're going to keep things and resell them, it keeps them protected overnight. But yeah, man. So that's how we kind of got going.
How many trucks do you have now?
We've got 2 trucks, and we also have it's a 16-foot trailer that we use kind of as a supplement. We've been up to 4 trucks at one time, but we started to really boom about 2 years ago. We hit a really big growth spurt, and it got out of hand. Like we were growing too fast, and so I really kind of scaled down purposely, like just on purpose to get to where it was manageable because we were ballooning too quickly. I was still working full time, and it was getting to be where we were making a lot of money, and it was just going right back out the door as quick as we were making it because it was just out of control. So we've kind of scaled down and got it to where we're in a really good spot with what we've got as far as equipment and trucks. We're grossing 35K a month, but we're profiting pretty decent on that. So
Who is somebody that you would say inspires you in this junk removal industry? I know you mentioned a couple names at the beginning that you found them on YouTube, but who's like somebody today that you follow and you kind of inspire to be like?
I would say that I think a lot of people really look up to Matt and JoJo. They're out there, and so we all see them and see what they're doing, and they're gracious enough to really share their story, and they're real, they're genuine about what they're doing, and so I really appreciate that about them. And you're able to lean into that and pick their brain off of it. So those are some people that I look up to in the industry. I've actually got some clients that I look up to. I've got one of my clients. He's one of my only clients in Kentucky. He's in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. He's a dumpster rental guy, but his name is Brian Border. So you're not going to go find him on YouTube and be able to follow him there. But from a business perspective and how this guy has really, he's been intentional about every single move that he has made inside of his business. And he's a client of ours, but I've watched him go from $15,000 a month to $70,000 a month in dumpsters. And so I've gotten to be a part of that. He started with us, he was around 15K a month, and now he's, 60K a month. He starts to get worried that things are slowing down, which is a good problem to have. But just watching him, I've taken notes. I'm going to do a case study on exactly what he's done to get himself there. He's been a huge inspiration for me to be able to look to and go, man, if people could just model what this guy has done, they can find success. And the same thing for Matt and JoJo. And I think that's why they like to share that value, because they have found a groove that really works for people. And so those are kind of the two right off the top of my head that I'm thinking of today. There are a lot of others, and I could go into all different kinds of people that I've encountered that have been value adding in some way. But as of right now, I think that those two groups of people are really the ones that are leading the way, and at least for me.
When you do that case study, are you gonna put it on YouTube or on your platforms at all, so that other people could check them out?
Yeah, so that's the intent behind it. So, of course, one of the reasons we're going to do it is like, hey, we can, we got to market ourselves, right? Like, hey, we're a digital marketing agency. We were with these guys when they were doing 15K. Now they're doing, 70K. But we're also going to give credit where credit is due. It is not only because of us that they are doing that. Brian put in a lot of work behind the scenes. And so I want everybody to, it's not going to be like a step-by-step guide per se, but I really want to get into the numbers and peel the onion back and see. And so he and I already have discussed this. We're going to have multiple meetings where we're like, okay, once you got to 25K, what were you doing at 25K? What steps did you take to get to the 35K mark? And then we're going to kind of look at the data from those time periods and piece it all together. So it'll be kind of almost like a document, and I'll do like a video overview of the document, and then I'll share it with people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be definitely tuning in for that for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cool.